Guys, what's going on? I hope you guys are well. So guys, I will be going live today in about an hour and a half, most likely. When this video gets up, maybe an hour. We'll do a quick one today. I say a quick one, it'll probably turn out to be a monster one like it always does. But yeah, I want to get straight into it. Bernard Hopkins has said that he feels that Canelo Alvarez will go up all the way to cruiserweight. He feels Canelo Alvarez will beat everyone, sweep everyone at 175, beat everyone, and then move right up to cruiserweight. I want to talk a little bit about him, firstly, beating everybody at light heavyweight. Now, the three champions at light heavyweight are Joe Smith, Bivol, and Beterbiev. Joe Smith is a very strong, tall, lanky fighter. A very, very strong, hard man. A guy that Bivol beat quite well as well. I think Canelo Alvarez would beat him quite comfortably, if I'm honest with you. I think Canelo would stop him as well. I think Joe Smith's good. He's strong and he can punch. The problem is, I think Canelo's just too skilled, too good. And I think Canelo's body shots, just his boxing skill will be too much for Joe Smith. Joe Smith isn't a good enough boxer for me to beat someone like Canelo. I think it's all right being big, strong, and a big puncher. I think you've got to be more than that. You've got to have more skills. You've got to know how to set up your punches a lot better than he does. I just think Canelo would. I think Canelo would stop him. The second one, Bivol. I think Bivol's a very good fighter, very slick, good boxer. He's just an all-round good fighter. I wasn't impressed by his last performance against Richards. I thought he was quite poor. He's quite fast, Bivol, with his hands. But again, I think Bivol for me would be a better version of Billy Joe and Caleb Plant. I just don't think fighters like that can beat Canelo. I'm just going to be totally honest with you. I don't think Bivol's strong enough to keep Canelo off of him. I think Bivol might be able to do well a couple of rounds, and then I think Canelo will take over and just start bullying him. That's what I think. I don't think Bivol's big enough or strong enough to be able to push Canelo back, and that's the only way you're going to beat Canelo. You're not going to be able to just keep him at bay with your jab, and you're not going to be able to just box and move and win a decision. I just don't see it. I think Canelo will walk you down, hit you with hard body shots, and break you down. And I don't think Bivol is strong enough to be able to push Canelo back. I think Canelo, he might be skilled, he might be a very skilled fighter. That's irrelevant though, because Canelo's a very skilled fighter. Canelo's also got very good defense. He's very hard to hit. His defense is better than Bivol's. Canelo's also got very good head movement, so Bivol's going to struggle to land punches on him. Also, Canelo being a smaller man, he'll be the faster in there. Not faster hands, but faster in terms of being able to land on him. He's going to be so quick. His head movement, look, Billy Joe was quick, and Billy Joe struggled to land punches. You know, Canelo made him miss. He will make Bivol miss. And then eventually what Canelo will do, he'll start putting a lot of pressure on him, hitting him hard to the body, breaking him down, busting him up, and eventually stopping him. And that's what I believe. I believe he would stop Bivol. I believe Canelo Alvarez would stop. I just don't think Bivol's got the style to be able to keep it up. I just don't think he has the physicality, the strength, the punching power to be able to push Canelo back. And as I've said to you guys, slick fighters aren't going to beat Canelo anymore. Canelo's improved his game too much. He's too well-rounded. And I just think eventually against slick fighters, he'll break you down and get to you. The fight that I think has to be made in the light heavyweight division is Arthur Beterbiev. The reason why I say Arthur Beterbiev, because Beterbiev is a guy that I believe stylistically can cause a lot of Canelo trouble. And what I mean by that, here's what I mean by that. I think the guys that give Canelo trouble now, not back in the day, I think Canelo was troubled by slick fighters, but Canelo's improved his footwork, he's improved his defense. He's also improved his footwork, being able to close the ring a lot better. He doesn't follow you around the ring anymore. He closes off the ring a lot better. And I personally think someone like Beterbiev and Golovkin, their style is a problem for Canelo, because Canelo is worried about their punching power. Canelo is worried about their physical strength. They're able to push Canelo back. They're able to make Canelo work 3 minutes of the round. And I'm still not convinced that people say Canelo's improved his stamina issue. I'm still not convinced. I think the reason why his stamina issue hasn't been a problem is because the fighters that he's been fighting haven't been able to exert that kind of pressure through their physicality or their punching power. I think Beterbiev will be able to do that. I think Beterbiev is physically very strong. He's a very, very big light heavyweight and a very, very well-built light heavyweight with heavy hands. He's got punching power. He's got punching power that can push Canelo on the back foot and make Canelo work 3 minutes of the round. Has Canelo got the punching power to hurt Beterbiev? Possibly. Possibly. Beterbiev's been down. Canelo has got very good head movement. Canelo is not going to be easy to hit for Beterbiev, because Beterbiev, although he's very strong and although he's got a big puncher, and he's got great amateur pedigree, he is going to be a lot slower. You know, so Canelo will make him miss. However, can Beterbiev do what Golovkin did in the first fight and push Canelo back on the ropes? I think if Beterbiev can push Canelo back and push him on the ropes, Beterbiev can start bullying Canelo, where Canelo then, his stamina will come into play. Because Canelo likes to have rest. So Canelo likes to do his flurry. He likes to have his spurts, and then he likes to have a rest for 30, 20, 40 seconds. And I think that's when you've got to make Canelo work. That's when you've got to put a lot of physical and mental pressure on Canelo Alvarez to tire him further and wear him down. Beterbiev has the style to do that. Do I think Beterbiev beats Canelo? No, I would pick Canelo Alvarez to beat Beterbiev. Just because I think Canelo Alvarez is more versatile, and I think Canelo Alvarez will be able to handle Beterbiev's power. And I think Canelo Alvarez could hurt Beterbiev. I do, and a lot of people don't think Canelo could hurt Beterbiev. He can. He can. Callum Johnson hurt Beterbiev. And Canelo Alvarez is he's not a big puncher at 168 or 175, but he's a big enough puncher to get Beterbiev's attention and even hurt Beterbiev. I think Canelo Alvarez has shown a granite chin throughout his career. You know, he's never been tittled. Never really been wobbled. Yeah, early on when he was like 17, 18, I think Miguel Cotto's brother wobbled him. But since then, you know, he's shown a granite chin. He's shown great resistance. Never been down. You know, he's just, like I said, he's an Iron Man. So personally, I think Canelo Alvarez, for me, would win a decision. I just think he's a lot more versatile than Beterbiev. I don't think Beterbiev's defense is that great. And I think Canelo Alvarez will catch him a lot and make him miss a lot. And I think Canelo Alvarez can win a clear, unanimous decision there. I don't think Beterbiev will win a decision against Canelo. I just don't think he's a good enough boxer to beat someone like Canelo. Canelo's too versatile. He's not just a power puncher. He's a guy that can. He's a pressure fighter. He can box with you in the center of the ring. You know, he knows how to cut off the ring. He's got great power. He's got great body shots. He's got everything. Canelo is a complete fighter. Unfortunately, Beterbiev, although he's you know, in the Govzik fight, he pressured Govzik, and he was a great pressure fighter. And I believe Beterbiev is a pressure fighter. However, when you're a pressure fighter, you also leave yourself open. Your defense, although certain pressure fighters have a good defense, I don't think Beterbiev has a great defense, and I think Canelo will take advantage of that. And also, Beterbiev's not really been in the ring with someone of Canelo's level. How will he handle Canelo's punch variety? How will he handle Canelo's power? How will he handle it if he's behind in a fight? Because let's not forget, Beterbiev's had everything go his way so far. If the fight's not going his way, how will Beterbiev react to that from a mental standpoint? Because let's not forget, Canelo's been in situations where he's been down, or he's come back from adversity to win. Beterbiev hasn't yet. So that's another thing that you've got to bear. Canelo's experience at the highest level, Canelo's big fight experience at the highest level is far more greater than Beterbiev's, and all of those things come into play. However, I do think, like I said to you, I keep saying it, I do think Beterbiev has the style to cause Canelo a lot of trouble. I would still pick Canelo to win, but that would be a 50-50 fight. That would be a 50-50 fight. So I don't think it would be as easy. I do think he beats Bivol and Joe Smith. However, I don't think it would be as easy for Canelo Alvarez to beat Beterbiev, as Bernard Hopkins says that he just sweeps through everyone. I'm not sure that he sweeps through everyone. I would favor him to beat everyone. So if you were to say, who would you pick? Who would you pick in a fight? Canelo or Beterbiev, or Canelo or Bivol? Canelo. I would pick Canelo all three, and I think he beats Bivol and Smith quite comfortably, and I think Beterbiev would be a very, very hard fight. But I think eventually, I think Canelo's superior boxing skills will get him through in that fight. I just don't think Beterbiev has a complete enough game to beat him. Now, he does have a style to cause Canelo trouble, and that's why I want to see the fight. It wouldn't shock me if Beterbiev was to win, because I do think he's a style that could potentially cause Canelo and even beat Canelo. Because I think that's the kind of style that's gonna beat Canelo, not the slick boxers anymore. Canelo's improved his game too much and improved that area of his game to the point where I just don't see any slick fighter with no punching power being able to beat him. It's just not going to happen. People keep going back, oh, well, Floyd was able to do it. But back then, Canelo was green. Canelo wasn't the fighter he is today. So Floyd was able to outbox Canelo. Now Canelo's added too many layers to his game for that type of style to beat him, in my opinion. So no, I don't think Bivol would beat him. I don't think Bivol is strong enough or big enough puncher in order to cause Canelo enough trouble. So I think Canelo would win that fight comfortably. I think the fight that really is a tough fight is Beterbiev. That's the fight that I would like Canelo to have. That's the fight that I look at and think, well, that's a 50-50. You know, that could go against Canelo. And that would be a fight which I think Canelo would be daring to be great. Canelo would be looking to, you know, Canelo wants to be one of the greatest fighters ever. You know, he wants to be one of the greatest fighters ever. And by fighting someone like Beterbiev, he'd be daring to be great, and he'd be pushing in that direction, especially if he was to beat him. That's what Canelo Alvarez is doing, because Canelo Alvarez right now is dominating his competition. So if he was to go up there and dominate Beterbiev, which I don't see him dominating, I can see him winning, but I don't see him dominating Beterbiev, then you have to say that his legacy he's thickening up that legacy, and actually you'd have to say that he won't be far away from Manny Pacquiao and Floyd if he was to clean up 175. If he cleans up 175 and cleans up 168, then yeah, he's really, really putting himself as one of the greatest, like Mexican fighters. Yes, he's already one of the greatest Mexican fighter. If he becomes undisputed, if he cleans up 175, then now we're talking about one of the greatest fighters ever. Not just the greatest Mexican fighter, but one of the greatest fighters ever. He really is trying to, you know, cement his legacy and secure his legacy as one of the greats. You know, and a lot of people some people don't like Canelo. But I think we need more fighters like that. We need more champions like that are willing to cement their legacy, willing to dare to be great, willing to fight the best. Canelo's willing to do that. That's why I've got immense respect for Canelo. And if he was to fight and beat everyone at 175, yeah, this guy's one of the greatest fighters of all time. You know, so that's my take. Do you think Bernard Hopkins is right? Do you think Canelo Alvarez beats everyone at 175? Leave your thoughts. Let me know what you think, guys. And guys, remember to please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.